Welcome back to the Professor's Lab. I'm Professor V, and this is round 3, the final round of our league tournament that happened at Die Hard Games on January 2nd, 2025. If you didn't know, Die Hard League happens every Thursday at 6 p.m. Central, featuring casual and tournament play of whatever format everyone wants. Go see more info in this video's description and check out Pokemon's event locator for premiere and other events at the shop, such as league challenges, league cups, pre-releases, and more. Please hit that like button right quick, subscribe to this channel, ring the bell for notifications, say what you need to say in the comments, and all that other good free stuff. But anyways, let's research this game. On the left, Lost Zone featuring Pikachu. On the right, Hydreigon. Our Lost Zone player is going first. They start out with Comfey in the active and use its ability Flower Selecting to look at the top 2 cards of the deck, send one of them to the Lost Zone, and add the other one to your hand. Lost Vacuum sent to the Lost Zone in favor of that Nest Ball, I believe, which gets played next instantly in order to search the deck for a basic Pokemon to put onto the bench. Probably that Radiant Greninja, since there was another Comfey in hand. So Nest Ball will find Radiant Greninja to add to the bench to continue to flow through this deck, as long as there's an energy card in hand. Radiant Greninja, of course, has the Concealed Cards ability that allows the player to discard an energy card and draw 2 cards. So a Lightning Energy gets discarded here with that ability to see 2 more cards, and to hopefully keep this turn going for them, as a second Comfey is put onto the bench. Switch moves that Comfey into the active spot, and now it can use its Flower Selecting to look at the top 2 cards of the deck. Remember, send one of them to the Lost Zone and keep the other. Hisuian Heavy Ball sent to the Lost Zone in favor of that Super Rod. Now another Nest Ball is being played. Search the deck for another basic Pokemon. That third Comfey getting established here. And we'll see if they've got a way to get that one into the active spot. I know there was more energy cards in hand, so Attach Retreat is online. But they're going to go for this switch card instead, moving that third Comfey into the active to do a third Flower Selecting here. I think you got to keep that Chorus Experiment, sending the Buddy Buddy Poffin to the Lost Zone. Anything else to do on this turn? Attach a Water Energy to Radiant Greninja on the bench is not bad. 3 in the Lost Zone as things are passed over to our Hydreigon player. Let's see if we can view some more Obsidian action. But first, Golden Buddy Buddy Poffin. That allows the player to search their deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon with 70 HP or less to put onto the bench. Double Dino in play, as well as a Pidgey, so far looking alright for our Hydreigon player, as Buddy Buddy Poffin finds another Dino, I don't know how to say it, and that Cleffa shiny version. 2 more Pokemon joining the party here. And next is an Iono as a supporter for turn. Both players shuffle their hands, put them at the bottom of the deck, and then draw cards from the top equal to their remaining prize cards. Note, hand disruption super effective against Lost Zone decks that like to accumulate cards in their hand, crafting it for the perfect future, just to be disrupted by the internet star. As a Nest Ball is played now on our right hand Hydreigon side. Golden Nest Ball, of course, finds that Rotom V, and that gets added to the bench here. Now, do we have an energy attachment or a way to retreat to get into that Cleffa, for example? Nope. Gonna use Rotom's V's instant charge to draw 3 cards, prepare for next turn, end the turn, and play is passed back over to our Lost Zone player on the left-hand side starts things off with a flower selecting. Another flower selecting to choose between Buddy Buddy Poffin and Chorus Experiment. Guess which one they're going to keep again. Chorus Experiment. That gets played now. That supporter card, Chorus Experiment, has the player look at the top 5 cards of the deck, send 2 of them to the Lost Zone, and keep the remaining 3. Interesting choices here. I think you have to keep the Pikachu EX, since that's probably the only one that's played. So now what other cards to get rid of? I think you have to keep a Chorus for next turn, depending on what cards are in hand. There was a Rescue Stretcher, I think, and that's a one of. So that's kept, and actually going to get rid of the Chorus Experiment and the Super Rod here. Okay. We've got 6 cards in the Lost Zone currently. These are just ability used markers on these Comfeys here. Face up means the ability hasn't been used. Face down means the ability has been used. So switch into a fresh Comfey. Another flower selecting being used here to look at the top 2. That was an interesting choice, but I have to get rid of the Night Stretcher to keep the probably one of Blood Moon or Saluna EX. Could come up later and don't want to be caught without it, I guess. Okay, there's still some play in hand, so we'll see what our player decides to do next as they attach a rescue board to a benched Comfey, the one that hasn't used its ability yet. And then Pokestop is put into play and activated. That Stadium card, of course, has the player discard the top 3 cards of the deck, and then they can put any item cards discarded this way into their hand. So just a grass energy loss there, not a big deal, in favor of finding a switch card and a Pal Pad that gets put into the hand. Switch card's a good find because that can move that 3rd Comfey to the active spot for another flower selecting, and that's what we're seeing happen right now. Flower selecting number 3. Look at the top 2, send the Pokestop to the Lost Zone since you've already got one in play. Keep that Super Rod, that will be important later. And we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards in the Lost Zone. So Mirage Gate is online. If they can get that attack, this Radiant Greninja attack this turn, that would be devastating for the opponent. Not the worst thing in the world for them, but definitely annoying. As another water energy is attached to the bench Radiant Greninja, there is a Mirage Gate in hand, so I think we do have the Moonlight Shuriken this turn if we want it, as the Lost Zone player. Pikachu EX gets put onto the bench here, and now a Mirage Gate is played. That powerful item card can be played when you have 7 or more cards in the Lost Zone. You accelerate 2 different basic energy from your deck to your Pokemon in play however you like. So one goes on to the Greninja to fully power it up, and then just another on the Pikachu to start to prep it for its attack later on. Pikachu EX, of course, has the Resolute Heart ability. If this Pokemon has full HP and would be knocked out by damage from an attack, it's not knocked out, and its remaining HP becomes 10. So you can safely invest this energy for the future onto the Pikachu EX. Reasonably safely do it. The rescue board allows the Comfey to retreat for free here into this powered up Radiant Greninja. And it looks like a Moonlight Shuriken will be done. Radiant Greninja's attack, discard 2 energy cards, and you deal 90 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. Let's see what 2 are taken out. The support Pokemon, Cleffa and Pidgey. Okay, interesting choice. I agree with the Pidgey for sure. The next one's not so obvious. If you take out a Dino, it's okay, but there's still 2 other Dino in play, so maybe going after the one-ofs is the correct choice here. We'll see how it plays off for our player here, if it even ends up mattering as the Lost Zone player takes the first two prize cards of the game. Also denying access to their opponent to a Pidgeot EX on their next turn. As play resumes there with a replacement Pidgey right away being put into play. Good news for the Lost Zone players, no Pidgeot this turn at least. Let's see if they can build a Hydreigon this turn and start swinging with it. That would be great. Hydreigon EX, of course, has two powerful attacks. The first one is probably the one that can likely be used this turn, the Crashing Headbutt. For Darkness and Colorless Energy, 200 damage, discard the top three cards of your opponent's deck. We'll talk about Obsidian, the Obsidian, as it becomes more relevant. But for now, what can our Hydreigon player do to respond? Start things off with an Iono. This is a step in the right direction. Remember, disruption to the Lost Zone deck that's been slowly building and crafting their hand is good. Both players shuffle their hands, put them at the bottom of their deck, and then draw cards from the top equal to their remaining prize cards, with Iono here, 4 for our Lost Zone player, 6 for our Hydreigon player. Next for our player on the right is another Golden Nest Ball to search the deck for a basic Pokemon to put onto the bench. And it will be that dancing Darkness Fezandipity EX with its Flip the Script ability. If your opponent took a KO on their last turn, you can draw 3 cards with that Fezandipity EX in its ability. So with that on the bench, next is Pokestop for our opponent. Interesting. Oh, that wasn't too bad. Remember, the Pokestop has the player discard the top 3 cards of their deck, and then any item cards discarded this way are added to the hand. So Ultra Ball and Dark Patch get added to the hand. Forest Seal Stone gets sent to the discard. I'm not sure how many they play in that deck. We'll see if that comes back to bite them or not later. Remember, they did the Pokestop with no fear before the Fezandipity. I think our players are discussing, was that rescue board added to the hand with the Pokestop or not. I don't think I caught anything myself earlier, but for the sake of the video, we'll move forward. You guys let me know what's up in the comments if needed, as our Hydreigon player is trying to decide the next best move. They still have the Flip the Script, and I don't think it was used yet, so maybe you do that before the Ultra Ball. But I guess you don't mind losing this Darkness Energy and Dino right now either, making your Flip the Script draws more relevant. But either way, Ultra Ball discards those 2 cards in order to search the deck for that Pidgeot EX. Okay, now I was going to say it looked like they were going for that Rotom V, but there's still a Flip the Script. So now Flip the Script to draw 3 cards, since the opponent took a KO on their last turn. Darkness Energy gets attached to a bench Dino. And then Rotom V uses Instant Charge to draw 3 cards and end the turn. Still building up that hand for a more devastating future as our Hydreigon player. But things continue over on our left-hand side, the Lost Zone side. And it looks like first is Radiant Greninja, discarding an energy to draw 2 cards with its Concealed Cards ability. Yeah, another Radiant Greninja attack would be just fine here. So we're just after that Mirage Gate and the correct energy in deck to do so. Switch moves the Comfey with the rescue board into the active spot. It uses Flower Selecting to look at the top 2, send one to the Lost Zone and keep the other. Manaphy and Switch Cart. Aha, the Manaphy's definitely relevant here with the Obsidian attack. So now I guess let's talk about the Hydreigon EX as the Manaphy sent to the Lost Zone, but the Hydreigon EX's second attack, Obsidian, for Psychic, Darkness, Metal, and a colorless energy, 4 energy. Obsidian, 130 damage, and this attack also does 130 damage to 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon, but not if that Manaphy is on the bench with its Wave Veil ability, preventing bench Pokemon from taking attack damage, but it was sent to the Lost Zone, so I just rambled on for nothing there, potentially. Either way, we're educating ourselves, doing some more research in the professor's lab today, as a Buddy Buddy Poffin is played next for our player on the left, allowing them to search their deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon with 70 HP. No targets selected there, so just thinning that card out of the deck. Also getting a kind of a free deck search there. See what's in there, what energies were there for this Mirage Gate potentially that's incoming. And right as I say it, it gets played. Remember, 7 or more cards in the Lost Zone means Mirage Gate can accelerate 2 different basic energy from the deck to their Pokemon in any way they like. Grass and my favorite type of water energy being pulled out of the deck. They're accelerated from the deck there. And they're probably both going to go on the Radiant Greninja. Yep. Alright, attacks online as a lightning energy gets manually attached per turn to the Pikachu EX, slowly building towards that Topaz Bolt as well. Switch Cart, I think, was played. I don't think they had to play that Switch Cart there. Either way, the Radiant Greninja moves into the active spot. Moonlight Shuriken, discarding 2 energy, dealing 90 damage to 2 of the opponent's Pokemon. That Pidgey still being denied there, as well as another Dino. 2 more prize cards taken for our Lost Zone player. As play continues on Hydreigon's side, they start things off first with Pheasantipity EX, flip the script since the opponent took a KO on their last turn, draw 3 cards. Next is Pokestop. We're just aggressively digging through the deck here. Pokestop discarding the top 3, 1 item hit that's maybe not too relevant. The Buddy Buddy Poffin losing the main attacker Hydreigon EX and a powerful and online tool card in that counter gain here. I would talk about it, but it's in the discard pile, so it's potentially not relevant currently. Feel free to research counter gain on your own as your homework. As our Hydreigon player takes a look at their hand, is there Rare Candy, Hydreigon EX, Dark Patch, Darkness Energy? There's Rare Candy, Hydreigon EX, allowing the Dino to evolve directly into it. Another Rare Candy allows the other Dino to evolve into another Hydreigon EX. Double, triple dragon on board here. Next is Dark Patch, accelerating a Darkness Energy from the discard pile to the bench. Darkness Hydreigon EX. The question is, can we get that Hydreigon into the active spot this turn? You probably could with Petrant EX, assuming that's in the deck and that the player has access to it. So we just need another Darkness Energy and the Petrant EX to see an attack here. Super Rod, Golden, of course, being played now to shuffle back into the deck some resources from the discard pile. 3 of any combination of Pokemon and or basic energy cards. Double Pidgey and Shiny Cleffa being shuffled back into the deck. Our Lost Zone players trying so hard to get rid of these Pidgey, but they just keep coming back. Any way to find Petrant? There is the Earthen Vessel, so there is access to Darkness Energy so long as they're in deck. Buddy Buddy Poffin will be played now. to search the deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon with 70 HP or less to put onto the bench. Just a Pidgey found here, a single Pidgey. You could find the other if you're really scared of another Moonlight Shuriken, but I guess another Moonlight Shuriken just ends the game. So just one Pidgey found here off of the Buddy Buddy Poffin. Next is a Nest Ball. That searches the deck for the Petron EX. Alright, so I think we are going to see a Crashing Headbutt here at least. Next is Earthen Vessel. That item card has you discard a card in order to search the deck for up to 2 basic energy cards to put into your hand. Double Darkness found off of the Earthen Vessel here. One of the Darkness energy gets attached to the bench Hydreigon EX. And next is an Eerie. Okay. Oh my gosh. The opponent, that supporter card has the opponent reveal their hand, and then I believe you discard 2 item cards, up to 2 item cards that you find there. So you get hand knowledge and double Mirage Gate discarded there. And I think that's all the Mirage Gates. You can only play 4 of a card that's not a basic energy in a Pokemon deck. 2 Mirage Gate were played already, I believe. 2 discarded off of Eerie. Does that change things dramatically for our dynamic of the game here? As Petron EX now uses its Subjugating Chains ability to allow the Darkness type Pokemon Hydreigon EX that's powered up to move into the active spot at the cost of it being poisoned afterwards. A small price to pay here to take the KO on the opposing Greninja and discard the top 3 cards of the opponent's deck. Ooh, not the worst discards there, but still resources being denied to the opponent as a Comfey with the rescue board floats into the active spot on the left-hand side and play resumes over on Lost Zone side. Can they win this turn? Boss's orders and the last, a grass energy, I think, is all that's needed. Yep, to win here. So, Comfey flower selecting, look at the top 2 cards of the deck. Send one to the Lost Zone. Pokestop goes to the Lost Zone in favor of keeping that Sableye. That Sableye attack doesn't win the game here either. It needs to be Boss's orders and Pikachu attack. So now is a Pokestop. Discarding the top 3. Super Rod and Lost Vacuum, those items will be added to the hand. The Blood Moon Ursaluna EX will get sent to the discard pile off of this Pokestop here. I do see the Boss's orders in hand, so I think we're just missing the grass energy. There's 2 grass, it looks like, in the discard currently. Super Rod can shuffle them back in. So those Mirage Gate discards were crucial, as that would have just been game here. So double grass, single perp, double green, let's say, shuffled back into the deck here off of this Super Rod. And see the, I believe the Pikachu EX, yeah, costs its attack for 300 damage, costs a grass, a lightning, and a metal. We got the grass, we got the metal, we just need that. Or sorry, we got the lightning, we got the metal, we just need the grass. That was put back into the deck. Alright, we're going to dig for it. Comfey, flower selecting number 2. Since the Comfey in the active spot retreated for free into this fresh Comfey. But still not the worst spot to be in, as the Lost Zone players, the opponent still has 5 prize cards to take. But it's also no joke when that Obsidian comes online. So Palpad will get sent to the Lost Zone in favor of keeping whatever the other card was. I missed it. Let's see what that was. So we had the retreat, psychic energy, it looks like. Yeah, you definitely have to be very careful with Lost Zoning your energy here in these Lost Zone decks. As the Palpad sent to the Lost Zone in favor of keeping the psychic energy. We're on the hunt for that grass energy, and now we need a way to retreat. So yeah, I don't think the win is going to happen this turn, or the game is going to end on this turn. Just a pass. Back over to our Hydreigon player. Rare Candy allows the Pidgey to finally evolve into this Pidgeot EX. Oh yes, of course, keep the poison damage ticking. There should be 2 damage counters on this Hydreigon EX, of course. Pidgeot in play now, meaning Quick Search is available. Pidgeot EX's ability, Quick Search, of course, allows the player once per turn to search their deck for a card. So good, that Big Bird is. No KOs taken on Lost Zone side last turn, so no access to flip the script currently, so gonna go in with the Pokestop. Boss's Orders getting discarded here. Powpad and Buddy Buddy Poffin are added to the hand at least. The Powpad is good to find there. You could shuffle back in those supporters that are discarded. Boss's Orders wouldn't be the best supporter here either, though you could start softening up that Pikachu EX, as that's the biggest threat on the opponent's side of the field currently. You also saw the Blood Moon Ursaluna hit the discard pile earlier. I think the Rescue Stretcher, or Night Stretcher, was sent to the Lost Zone early. So I think our player just wants to Obsidian here as they put that Pokemon League headquarters into play. I believe that stadium says basic Pokemon's attack costs a colorless more. So that's good. That is very good to have in play currently, as the Pidgeot EX uses its Quick Search ability to search the deck for a card. You don't even have to show the opponent, so that gets added to the hand there. Yeah, that Pokemon League quarters makes this Pikachu EX attack cost another energy. And with all the Mirage Gate down, that's super annoying for our Lost Zone Pikachu player here, as our Hydreigon EX player attaches that Ace-Spec Neo Upper Energy to their active Hydreigon. The Neo Upper Energy, if it's attached to a Stage 2 Pokemon, is 2 energy of any type. So the Obsidian attack is currently online if our Hydreigon EX player wants to use it, and I think they do. Yep. Obsidian, 130 damage to the active Comfey, 130 damage to each of the 2 bench Comfey, 3 prize cards taken there, and all the opponent's support Pokemon wiped from the board. Nope, not all of them. 1. Yeah, I think they were. Let's see here. Instant replay, going back in time, time traveling in the professor's lab today. Yep, they are. So all 3 Comfey wiped from the board. Pikachu EX is the only Pokemon in play currently. There we go. I was a little confused there. Our players were too, but we got there. Pikachu against the world now. All that was previously needed was a Boss's Orders Grass Energy to win the game. Now they need Boss's Orders, Grass Energy, and Counter Stadium. Remember that Stadium increasing the basic Pokemon attack cost by 1 colorless. Oh, they have the Prime Catcher as well, so all the Gust is there, but just the Energy and now the Counter Stadium are needed. Okay, the Lost Vacuum does get rid of that Stadium card. Lost Vacuum has you send a card in your hand to the Lost Zone in order to send a Stadium or Tool card in play to the Lost Zone. So Psychic Energy sent to the Lost Zone to send that Pokemon League headquarters to the Lost Zone. The Comfey probably would have guaranteed finding that Grass Energy, but they're gone. Replacement Comfey put onto the bench though here. As, oh, nice. The Roxanne is played. Okay, Still possible. The dream is still alive for our Lost Zone player here. Roxanne, it's been a while. Let's see, that supporter card, you can only play it if your opponent has 3 or fewer prize cards remaining. Let's see. Yep, you can only play it if your opponent has 3 or fewer prize cards remaining. Each player shuffles their hand into their deck. Then the Roxanne player draws 6 cards, and the opponent draws 2 cards. So now they just need to shuffle the Grass Energy and Prime Catcher. And way to retreat, I guess, to the top of the deck. 3-card combo, at least needed here. Okay. Oh my goodness. Alright, let's see. Let's see them put it together now. Grass Energy is found and attached to the Pikachu EX. Oh, and that's just a game. Sorry. I was completely missing that the Hydreigon EX had 3 or more, at least 3 damage counters on it, thanks to the poison ticking. The poison damage accumulating between turns. So the Hydreigon EX has 330 HP. I think there were at least 3 turns since the subjugating chains poisoned that Hydreigon EX. So that's the cost of using those abilities, I guess, as the Pikachu EX uses its Topaz Bolt to deal 300 damage to clean up the KO on the Hydreigon EX for the last 2 prize cards of the game. That was awesome. What do you think of this video and the commentary? Please leave feedback in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching. Happy New Year, and I'll see you next time in the Professor's Lab.